All right, so I went and picked up some donkey milk today. Long story. First of all, for me, this was harder to get than I thought it would. It was easier to get the buffalo milk because there's a very high demand for donkey milk for children that can't drink other types of milk, and I wasn't even aware of this. They use it for some state that it helps with their autistic kids and things like that. So I'm going to show you a short documentary here from a television station that is not far from me. And the farm in Oklahoma, keep in mind, I'm only about 45 miles from Oklahoma and not far from the farm that this story is about. Now, I couldn't get milk from them because they're sold out. They're actually selling powdered milk from Israel or somewhere. But I was able to get this from someone here locally who doesn't normally sell it. He gives some away, but mostly they drink it themselves. So I lucked out. And this stuff is hard to come by. And I'm considering getting myself a Jenny, a female donkey myself, and then get a jack and trying to raise some to help out with the supply of it. Anyway, watch this short documentary. It's only about 4 minutes. Not a documentary, it's a news story, sorry. And after this short story, then we'll get into the making of my donkey milk soap. So here we go. Enjoy, everyone.
Miracle Donkey Milk. Let's get back to your story here. We first visited the Oklahoma Donkey Dairy in November, and since then, they have been inundated with requests for their donkey milk.
They have a huge wait list now. So I went back to the Donkey Dairy to talk with the families who say donkey milk has changed their lives. We first met the Trawick family, owners of the Oklahoma Donkey Dairy, in the fall of 2018, and since then,
we've been really busy since you guys were here.
Families from around Oklahoma and even out of state are traveling to the Trawick's Donkey Dairy.
We have a huge wait list for people.
People wanting to get even just small amounts of their donkey milk.
The first time she drank it, she's like, this is gonna help me.
For reasons yet unknown, donkey milk seems to be helping dozens of children. Chad and Melissa Collins are now donkey milk believers.
We learned about it 3 days later. Like I said, we got some and started using it right away.
Chad and Melissa's 6-year-old daughter, Frankie, has been drinking the milk since September.
She'll be drinking it forever.
The Collins family drives from Dallas to get this miracle milk, a journey that seems well worth it after their lives were turned upside down.
She was very joyful.
Yeah, she was. She was just so in love with the world. And then the lights went out.
Frankie was diagnosed with PANDAS, an autoimmune disorder. And suddenly, their happy-go-lucky child,
Sweet little Frankie, who's the most lovable, outgoing little girl on the entire planet, started lining things up, OCD, having rages, having tics. Her eyes would just start shuddering like this. When there's a lot of noise, she would get so frustrated and just hold her head and just scream.
Now she drinks small amounts of the milk several times a day.
We noticed that difference within a couple of weeks of giving it to her. We're on a walk and Melissa's like, have you noticed she's not in pain? I mean, usually we're having to stop like every block by now. And she's just going full throttle like her age should.
The Jenkins family has also found a miracle in donkey milk.
We were surprised that within 2 days of just taking a very small amount, his seizures went from 10 to 12 a day to like 3.
Their doctor can't explain why donkey milk seems to be helping.
Every time we talk to a doctor, they're like, wow, well, keep taking it.
For Ethan, it's meant more freedom. With fewer seizures, his parents feel more comfortable loosening the reins.
I'm a teenager. I want to be out and do things without my parents constantly watching me. So it's a real blessing.
To keep up with the donkey milk demand, the Trawicks have now started importing donkey milk from Italy.
We're now bringing in their pasteurized and freeze-dried donkey milk so we can provide for everybody that needs milk because we can't meet the demand right now.
Another donkey milk miracle they can't explain? Strangers donating money so no family in need has to go without milk.
And it absolutely doesn't make sense that people have been donating to help kids they've never met.
Their priority is always the children.
We have a lot of adults with autoimmune disease that are contacting us wanting to try the milk for themselves, and I put kids at the top of the list.
Because for the Traywicks, helping children is how this all began. Their daughter's illness led them to try donkey milk and then eventually open the donkey dairy.
They've just been an amazing blessing in our lives to help him get his life back.
Currently, the Traywicks farm is providing milk for more than 65 children and counting.
Absolutely, the answer to our prayers.
Maggie Carlo, KOCO 5 News.
Unbelievable story.
And just to see, again, that they started trying the donkey milk, the Traywick family, their daughter went through a very similar illness. And now they have the donkey dairy. And they have, like we said there in the piece, been inundated with requests. They now work with this company out of Italy, are shipping that freeze-dried and milk here so that they can ship out and get to all the people. But they will take the time. The Traywicks are such kind people. If you have questions, they'll take the time, work with you, try to figure it out. And we appreciate them opening their donkey dairy to us once again.
And the mystery behind how it's working and what miracle is inside of it is really intriguing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And like the Jenkins family said, their doctor said, hey, it's not hurting anything.
Just
keep
keep
going
on going
if it seems to be helping.
Okay, everyone, so I'm back here. I've frozen the milk, and I'm just adding my lye to it here, as I do with all of my milks. I just find that this works best for me. And I know that there's so many methods for making milk soaps, whether it be cow milk or goat milk or buffalo milk or reindeer milk or donkey milk. The processes are still about the same. We want to treat it with respect, and we want to be gentle and go slow with it. I am a big fan of milk soaps. This one in particular is one that people have asked me to do in the past. And I've wanted to, but on the same token, I was a little reluctant. Not because it was donkey necessarily, but because I know that most of the people that sell it for children. And I didn't want to take away from that. And the only reason I'm using this particular milk today is because I found someone who had a customer that wanted some and then backed out, and so he had the extra and he gave this to me, didn't even charge me for it. And this is why I'm I'm seriously considering raising donkeys for milk myself. And just so I can help out with that, but also so I can use it in my products, because from everything I've read about it, it really is a fantastic product for skincare. And there are hundreds of articles on the benefits of using donkey milk. Google it yourself and you'll find all sorts of information. It's full of vitamins and fantastic acid, lactic acid, as many milks are. But it just is so gentle. And from what I've heard, it makes one of the best soaps. So that's what I'm doing. Now, I decided with this I was just going to respect the soap itself, the milk, but I did want to slightly tint it. So I went with alkanet root that I have infused in olive oil in almond oil, excuse me. And then I would just add a few dropperfuls to each pour and hopefully get a bit of gradation. But it didn't really work that way. And that's because the alkanet root kind of dyed the soap a bit. And you'll notice, at least in the photograph, after it had cured a bit, it tended to turn a little pink. Now, I also know with alkanet root that it can fade, so that color could disappear. I don't know. But what I will say is that I didn't want to go overboard with design, like I ever do anyway, but I certainly didn't with this. As with the reindeer and the other soaps, you'll notice I don't do a lot of fancy work on those, because in my silly little brain, it's all about the ingredients, not about the style. So as the saying goes, it's more about the substance. Now, I also as I stated, this milk does have a fragrance to it, its own undertones. And it's kind of a mammalian, beefy. It reminds me of when you use beef tallow. It has it has that smell. But saponification generally takes care of those sort of things, but it may not in this case. So I decided that for this I was going to use citrus essential oils, and I'm using 4 of them. Grapefruit, lemon, 10x orange, and Litsea. And I think that combination, and it's a combination I've used before in my cornmeal soap, because I really like that combination. But actually, I don't think I put grapefruit in the cornmeal, but no, that's neither here nor there. But it really does work well it's used in soaps to help remove smells even from hands in the kitchen. You'll notice that a lot of chef soaps have citrus oils in them, and that's because they're terrific for neutralizing stinky smells. So the idea here was that it would help to reduce the mammalian smell of the soap. But I will tell you that once I took it out and once it was cut, that wasn't a concern after all. I couldn't smell anything but the citrus oils, and I'm very happy about that. So that's good news for any of you considering using donkey milk as well. It is a very nice, it's thicker milk than goat milk. That I could tell. It was just a heavier cream. Now he did say that this particular animal had just had her baby taken off, and she's weaned it. So because of that, she had not been milked for a day, or I think he said 24 hours. And when he milked that, it was for someone specifically who actually never showed, and so he had this sitting there anyway, and they had plenty there for their own family, so that's why he was able to share this with me. And it is a very nice, heavy, it's more of a cream than a milk, so I think it'll be really terrific. And I think that I have really found my limit on the different milks. I mean, sure, you can get milk from a lot of things, cats, dogs, but that's not an area I'm going to head in. I made a joke with Renee had asked me about what other milks are you thinking of using, and I joked and said, well, I don't think I'll be using hamsters, but I don't know, if somebody offered me elephant milk or something, which isn't going to happen, but I'm just saying, well, might I try other things in the future? Sure. Am I actively seeking them out just to try something different? No, not at this time. This was a special request. I've had 2 or 3 people ask me to make a donkey milk soap, but I only made 1 loaf of this. There was enough milk there. I could have made maybe another loaf, but I just wanted to start with 1, see what it's like. I haven't used it before, so I just wanted to be sure. There are just so many fantastic products out there. And if I hear from one more person, yeah, but what's it matter when it's in a rinse-off product like a soap? Well, that's a silly comment. Our skin is our largest organ on our body. It has openings in it that are water. They allow water. Our body does allow water into our skin. It does not so readily add oil because we're made up of mostly water. So we repel oil. We absorb water. And so when you bathe, what are you bathing in? You're bathing in water. And because the oils in soap are already saponified, they mix with the waters. So of course you're going to absorb some of that. Now, are you going to get all of that soaked in? No, you wouldn't want to soak in all those soap bubbles with everything that's in there. It might overload you. No, our body knows how to handle these things. And yes, we are going to absorb some of this product into our body. And the wonderful thing about what milks are used for, it's not necessarily what they add to your skin. It's what they prevent from being lost from your skin, and that's moisture. So keep that in mind. They help to keep your skin moist. They also help to keep your skin from getting stripped of oils. All right? I hope you enjoyed this. At the end of this, I have a short video of a donkey on the beach in South Texas I thought I would share with you. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so very much. Goodbye.